course, the injuries to Cody Williams, Sifo, and Maya Moore, not available for Xavier. Here comes Miller off the opening tap and has it blocked out of bounds as Borlova back on defense.
An early transition opportunity off the jump ball. You saw Miller. She does such a good job getting into the paint, attacking the rim consistently. The East Carolina transfer has been terrific. The Hoyas' leading scorer this year. She's from Sidwell Friends, one of the best high schools in all of America here in Washington, D.C., transferring back home from East Carolina. What a season she's having so far.
Your officials today, Jules Gallion, Tom Danaher, and Whitney Armstrong. Hoyas in the white today, Xavier in the navy. And high off glass, no good, but the putback does not fall. Another chance and ends up in the hands of Canerva. That was one thing Billy Chambers was concerned about, the Hoyas beating up her team on the boards.
Well, Destiny Agubata, the West Virginia transfer, one of the best offensive rebounders in the league, a former top 100 player, really thriving here early in Big East play for Darnell Haney by being in the paint, offensive rebounding, second chance basketball.
It's down low, White trying to get through, can't get it to go. Tap back, Agubata ends up with it. No shove, no call. Hoyas going big to start this game off with both Scott and Carter in there. A lot of size. Scott to the bucket, offensive foul on the Hoya upperclassmen.
Well scouted play there by Xavier. Brianna Scott with the DHO, the dribble handoff actions. A lot of times she does the keep, where she keeps her dribble, tries to turn and get the edge, drawing the offensive foul to the Musketeers.
There's Darnell Haney, and there's Billy Chambers. Your two coaches today, both coming in at the same time, both in their third year. Of course, one of those years, interim for Darnell Haney, as he took over for the late Tasha Butts. Of course, the Hoyas made it to the Big East Tournament final that year and into the second round of the WBIT.
Both coaches have done a great job rebuilding. Wow, look at that.
Petra Borlova from distance, 26% three-point shooter, something they wanted to see more out of her. She gives a great start for Billy Chambers.
When she makes shots, that helps them on offense so much because it creates space for the other players to produce inside the three-point line.
Here's keys to the game, Martin.
Xavier, we talked about Oborilova making a three. Make shots on the road. Give your offensive players, Mariah Noel, Mackenzie Given, some space, and defend without fouling. Don't put Georgetown on the line for easy free throws. Georgetown, take advantage of your size inside, play inside-out basketball, and then box out Xavier on the other end. Limit the Musketeers to just one shot.
And that'll get through everyone and will be a turnover. Yeah, you talk about shooting, Martin. This Xavier team, worst in the Big East at just 25% from three. You know, if you're Billy Chambers, and almost taken away as Givens almost had herself a steal.
When you make shots, it creates space. Obviously, three-point plays so important to create leads or to come back, but you create space for other players to perform because the defense has to worry about you and guard you tighter.
And another turnover by the Hoyas is Hessian. Xavier doing a good job right now, Martin, kind of just stepping in. The Hoya maybe driving lanes they thought were there haven't been.
3 turnovers early for Georgetown as you see Agubata picking up 94 feet, just like Darnell Haney loves.
Noel gets back and can't hit the bunny. Hoyas with another close shot they could not get to go down. That was a bit of a bugaboo early on against Seton Hall before that game got out of hand.
And offensive consistency is important for Agubata. Why? Because she's always in the paint. Offensive rebounding, steals, transitions, got to reward yourself.
Givens on the drive, under 10 on the timer. Oborolova takes the three. Count it! What a start for Petra Oborolova.
When you have a center who can make shots from the perimeter, it is so important. You talk about in year 2 at Xavier for Oborolova. She was at Iona with Coach Chambers, making shots on NCAA tournament teams there. She is experienced, and she can knock them down.
And that's going to be another offensive foul on the Hoyas, second of the ball game. And Darnell Haney, at this point, has to think there might be a little carryover from that Seton Hall game.
As you see here, Givens driving and stopping, playing under control, hitting. Oborilova, great pass, perfect release there, Jeremy. Elite rotation on the basketball, elite arc on the shot. And Coach Haney subs in 4 new Hoyas now to bring some energy off the bench after a slow start here at McDonough.
A little smaller group after that Twin Towers look. Some shorter posts in Byers and Nowicki that can combat the outside shooting of Oborilova. Canerva working under 10 on the timer. She'll step back and take a 3. That front rim's no good, but Givens with the board. Givens back up, can't get that one to go. It's a second shot, no good. Noel's there. She'll put it up. That doesn't fall, and finally Nowicki ends the possession.
Relentless pursuit of the basketball by Xavier. Givens getting in there, offensive rebound opportunities. White getting in there. The Hoyas got to box out here, limit them to 1 shot, and then close out on shooters on the perimeter.
Xavier was out-rebounded by 20 in their loss to Marquette on New Year's Day, something Billy Chambers wants to turn around. Davis takes a 3. That back rim's no good. Canerva had it for a second and will get it back after having it swiped for a second by Georgetown. Hoyas without a bucket. 4.5 minutes into this contest.
Stay active on the ball if you're Georgetown. You don't want to give them any sort of space on that perimeter to get a catch-and-shoot opportunity.
Canerva can't get it to go, and Byers grabs it after almost knocking out of bounds.
Look at Byers go coast to coast.
Has it stripped, but ends up in the hands of Summer Davis. Davis, foul line jumper, and it's good, and that ends the Hoya scoreless drought over 5 minutes into the game before their first bucket.
Summer, the sensational sophomore, really thriving in year 1 as a transfer from Georgia here at Georgetown. Very good on both ends and can make shots and get in the paint on offense, which is a deadly combination.
Her sister, twin sister India Davis, also on the team. Oborilova takes a wild shot. That's squared up like she was for the 3s.
The fake handoff into the pull-up jumper. You don't see that all the time, but when you're feeling it, sometimes you got to let the extra one fly.
Oborilova going for another offensive foul, doesn't get it. Here's Nowicki down low, across the lane, can't get it to fall.
The Hoyas have had shot after shot inside the paint, right at the rim, that just have not fallen so far early in this game, and that's a good closeout by Byers. You have to stay close to Oborilova, especially on the perimeter. She's going to be in these pinch post actions, dribbling the basketball, but then popping like that.
White will hoist along 2. That's off the mark. Davis with the board. She'll push.
Good pass.
Finds Miller, and the layup goes down for the Hoyas there.
And when you're struggling in the half court, turn defense into offense. Try to get something easy. This athletic Georgetown team does a good job sharing the sugar, passing the ball ahead, get an easy layup after turning it over 3 times in the half court so far to start this game.
Pull up jumper, no good for Noel. Miller cut off, contact. Canerva ends up with it. A jump ball, and possession will go to Xavier after we return from this break here in D.C. as the Musketeers off to the hot start shooting. Hoyas catch up. Oborilova with all 6 for the Musketeers as they lead Georgetown by 2 here in D.C.
On the 12th day of winter, the Jeep brand gave to me 12 switchbacks winding, 11 rubber duckies, 10-inch touchscreen, 9 pine trees sparkling, 8 decades going, 7 spots of shine. We're skipping a few, 3 rows of seating, 2 finger waves, and only one.
Jeep, there's only one. Right now during the Jeep Wrap-Up the Year sales event, well-qualified lessees can lease a 2026 Jeep Wrangler Sport S-Gas model for $359 a month, or purchase and get no monthly payments for 90 days.
This is Georgetown, a place of passion and hard work. To be a Hoya, it takes your all. Mind, heart, a pursuit for excellence. We seek out the best in one another and ourselves.
Determined to learn.
Determined to succeed. Determined to have an impact on and off the field. A calling to reach higher than you ever thought possible.
Working as hard in the classroom as we do in the weight room.
A community rooted in Jesuit tradition.
DC is our training ground.
The world is our arena.
Together, we are stronger.
We are Georgetown.
Here we go from Mohegan Sun Arena.
How about this atmosphere? It's electric in here.
Sellout crowds 3 consecutive days. AZ5 is feeling it.
This is going to be a good one, John.
Oh, boy! The 10,000 here tell the story of how much they appreciate greatness. What a legacy.
Adulting? Overrated. Financial freedom? Now that's the move. Meet Alumnify. Banking built for real life. No jargon. No hassle. Just smart money moves made simple. Want to save more? Spend smarter? Build wealth? We've got your back. With 0 hidden fees and game-changing savings rates. This is banking that fits your life. Alumnify. Let's go.
Unlock more sports for one unbeatable price. Get unrivaled coverage all year long. Introducing the new ESPN Fox One Bundle.
Georgetown basketball is brought to you by Squadra Solutions. Squadra, advanced cybersecurity and IT solutions expertise for companies worldwide. Partner with Squadra. Big East basketball is brought to you by Jeep. Jeep, there's only one.
Both these teams trying to get back to where they have been previously as programs. Of course, this series history, it's an interesting one for those two teams as Georgetown leads at 18-9, but the Hoyas have dominated lately. Martin, they've won the last 8 meetings and the last 5 meetings, so basically the games between Billy Chambers and Darnell Haney coach teams, it has not been close. A 24-point average margin of victory for the Hoyas. Even last year, a New Year's Eve game, I believe it was, the Hoyas and Musketeers were basically tied going into the fourth quarter. Hoyas blew it wide open in that last 10 minutes.
And the most glaring stat in those last 5 matchups, Xavier has not hit 50 points in any of those last 5 meetings. So they got off to a good start shooting the basketball here. Have slowed down, though, since the Hoyas have locked in a little more defensively. But the Hoyas struggling to score in their own right here in their home arena, McDonough.
Right now, Hoyas trying to find a balance as Miller takes it in. A block this time as Darnell Haney like that one as Miller gets to the bucket and has a chance to put the Hoyas in front.
Both teams run designed isolation plays out of the timeout. They get Kaya Miller the left-hand side to drive baseline, drawing contact. Defense wasn't set, and now she steps to the line. And the Hoyas have gotten to the paint this afternoon, but have not rewarded themselves consistently yet as the Georgetown offense, a lot of isolation plays, elbow rips, wing rips, designed by Darnell Haney, a focal point of their offensive philosophy with this talented, skilled, athletic group.
Tie ball game at 6. A few new faces in for Xavier. Here's White. Jasmich in, as is Young, who makes a strong move, but it will be an offensive foul as Kaya Miller in the middle of everything draws the charge.
And that was a fantastic rotation by Kaya Miller. Jewett gambles for the steal, just a little out of position. Look at Kaya Miller sprinting to the help line, 2 feet down, takes it right in the chest. So she draws the and one on one end, comes back on the other end, the quote-unquote outside dog mentality that Darnell Haney loves, and draws the charge on the defensive end.
And a foul on Miller there as Scanerva had taken it away. It's interesting, Martin. Really, we've seen for Xavier over the last few games, it's been a 7, maybe 8-woman rotation. Asked Billy Chambers about it. She said, look, that's more on me than the players. We've seen them in practice do it. I just have to be cognizant of giving them a chance, and maybe chance earlier in games to keep my maybe core 5 to 6 players a little fresher throughout the contest.
You know, she has a talented trio who I love. Noelle Givens, Canerva, very consistent players. It's hard to take them off the court. They've been that good for her this year. Great cut. Look at that execution.
But Canerva can't finish. Gets the offensive rebound, though. As Noelle will hoist a 3. That misses everything. White tries to save it and throws it out of bounds. And we'll be back over to Georgetown.
And Noelle's been quiet so far. 0 of 3 from the field. The talented Ole Miss transfer has been fantastic this year. 15 points per game, 6.5 rebounds per game. She's 5th in the Big East in scoring, 8th in rebounding, 9th in field goal percentage. And Billy Chambers going to the portal to find experienced talent to help her turn the corner at Xavier in year 3. And it seems like they're on track in doing so.
Miller steps through and scores, and the Hoyas have the lead.
And it's been the Kaya Miller show for Georgetown. 6 points already for her, attacking the paint. Good transition. Again, we talk about it when you're struggling in the half court. Can you get something easy in the full court? Audia Young, wide open, the lefty Auburn transfer, knocking it down.
Came in only 18% from the outside on the season. That was something Billy Chambers said, look, if she can start hitting consistently, that's really going to help us out.
Another SEC transfer from Auburn doing good things for Billy Chambers and good defense there.
Jasmine will keep it moving. Young gets the open look. That's off the mark. And Canerva almost takes it away and knocks it out of bounds. Kelly Myers makes the good catch.
And if you're Darnell Haney, you want to take this clock down. 29 on the game clock, 27 on the shot clock. You want this to hopefully be the last field goal attempt of the quarter and take a lead into the second quarter. As you see, great instincts. Canerva, the sophomore point guard, she was so good last year as a freshman. Big East all-freshman team. Facilitator, great point guard skills, good high-low action. Look at Kristen Carter. And again, folks, if you haven't watched Savannah White play, she is an elite defender. Blocks, steals, deflections, a big-time rebounder and defender. 3rd in the Big East in blocks, 5th in the Big East in rebounding.
And Noelle will walk. So Hoya basketball with 3.5 seconds to go. And unlike many a times, as we'll check out that block again by White.
Just fantastic defense there, Jeremy. 21 steals, 20 blocks on the season, now 22 for her.
Miller gets open, and she will miss the shot.
What happened there, Jeremy?
I know, just kind of let her this Xavier incremental progress. She agreed with that. This year, they already have their first Big East win. They were 1-17 last year.
And Ofer in her first year, and she has matched this year the same amount of wins, 8, as she had in her first 2 years combined, doing a phenomenal job building this program back up.
Layla Jewett knocking that one down to put the Hoyas back out in front. And the turnover by the Musketeers.
And Layla Jewett needs to get going again for Georgetown, just in general. Single digits in 4 or 5 games. In the start of league play here especially, the Hoyas need her to facilitate, make shots from the perimeter like she was early in the season. The UCF transfer has been very good for Darnell Haney, so you want her to get going. And you don't have Victoria Rivera, so who can step up and make some perimeter threes for Georgetown to create space for others?
Byers in the lane, steps through, can't get it to go. Scott gets the board, no reset, got to put it up. And Miller gets it off in time. Back iron no good. Agibata with the rebound. Fresh 20.
What a move.
She'll put it back up, and it goes.
What a phenomenal move by Agubata there. She gets another offensive rebound. That is her superpower, folks. Going and getting the basketball off the rim, finishing in the paint after missing a couple bunnies early. You like to see that if you're Darnell Haney. Just move on if you have a tough miss. Make the next one.
Never calling out the action. Xavier, a bit of a mix of Princeton offense and Harry Perina Villanova 5 out. And Byers will knock that one out of bounds, 2 seconds to go. And Coach Chambers said, look, we kind of added the Perina stuff because our players, it kind of fits what they do.
She has highly skilled players, as you see Agubata here. 2 hands rebounding. Look at this spin move. Wow. Finishing with the strong hand, not letting a couple of those early misses affect her psyche, finishing it. Do what you do best, because this young lady, massive in the win here against Creighton. 16 points, 14 rebounds. She went 10 of 10 from the free throw line, rewarding herself in the paint and at the line.
And after a good job by White to get that one up with limited time on the shot clock, Scott able to pull it down. Agubata will try a 3. That's off the mark. And Noel takes it the other way.
Good kick ahead there.
Orlova back in. Canerva directing traffic. She'll kick it back as Givens takes the 3. That's well off the mark. Noel keeps the possession alive.
Look at Noel flying in there, one of the top rebounders in the Big East. When you can score and rebound, especially offensively, to get other opportunities to score, it's a valuable strength to have as an offensive player.
Now White takes the long 2 and will bank it home. Not expected, but definitely happy it happened.
Known for her defense, the steals, the rebounding, the blocks. Get it over if you're Georgetown.
That'll be a 10-second call.
There has been some intense defense here this afternoon. Xavier finally getting a score off a bank shot of all shots. Then they pick up in full court and create a turnover by just trying to turn Layla Jewett. Now they have an opportunity to tie this thing up or take the lead.
Yeah, not a good job against not overly intense pressure by Xavier. Just kind of got stuck by herself in the backcourt. Noel, and looks like the foul's going to go on it's going to go on Agubata.
They're saying just too much body by Agubata. She gave up a little bit of an edge there to give Noel the opportunity. As you see right here, first there's a little bit of a bump, but that angle gave that space to Noel, who does a great job drawing contact consistently, and as an inside-out threat, she can make shots, she can score in the paint, Mariah Noel, but she rewards herself by making free throws, 76% from the line. As you see, Xavier, 2 of 16 since Oberelova's first 2 threes during the game, and they were at 2 of 3 from the field, so a defensive Big East battle going on right now in McDonough.
Off the mark.
Great rotations by Georgetown.
And that's going to be a tie-up. The shot clock reset.
Just love to see this intense defense. Look at Bree Scott moving her feet, staying down, and the ball hits the deck. So you see multiple Hoyas on the ground, battling with Mariah Noel, who's certainly looking like a first-team All-Big East performer for Xavier early in this league play. This is league play, folks. Every game counts, and when you're below 500, it's so important to get back to square one and even.
Givens knocks it down to put the Musketeers ahead. Martin going back to that previous play. I'm assuming they must have ruled that Scott had possession and then was tied up. That's why they got the fresh shot clock.
Correct. She was on the ground, had 2 hands on the ball, clear possession, but then the tie-up happened. And as you see, the baseline drive, the kick opposite to Mackenzie Givens, who, the sophomore, has made a huge jump this year for Xavier, right? We talk about the portal and transfers and international players, and then there's a young woman, Mackenzie Givens, from Cincinnati, who's made a huge jump from freshman to sophomore year. She's averaging 11. She can make shots. She attacks the paint well. So those are the stories in college basketball that get forgotten. The player development, the retention players who continue to improve. Mackenzie Givens is certainly showing that for Billy Chambers.
Turnaround by Scott doesn't go. Yeah, Givens and really Noel have made just titanic jumps so far this year. Noel will hoist a 3. That's off the mark as Doggyba into the game, pulls down the board.
And look at this. Brianna Byers takes the handoff in the full court. Her ability to dribble and facilitate from the front court an interesting dynamic here. Look at this. Byers-Scott ball screen.
And taken away as Borlova got a hand on it. So Xavier with the 1-point lead. So we dip under 6 minutes to go in the half. Canerva off the mark. Chased down in the corner. Thrown back. And again, Xavier winning the hustle plays right now. As White and Young combine, as Borlova will knock down another three, or third of the game.
And that started with the hustle play from White. As you see a steal there, almost steal, excuse me, but it started with Savannah White. What a winner she is, hunting down loose balls, creating an opportunity for a teammate to make that three.
And Darnell Haney's seen enough. He's going to take a timeout as he doesn't like what he's seen over the last few possessions, as his Hoyas are down by 4 here in D.C. Borlova coming up big for the Musketeers.
Sir, it seems that the Gladiators get a lot of positive social sentiment.
Innovation changes everything. With one investment, you can access the NASDAQ 100 innovators who are rethinking the world. Before investing, carefully read and consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, expenses, and more in prospectus at Invesco.com.
On the 12th day of winter, the Jeep brand gave to me 12 switchbacks winding, 11 rubber duckies, 10-inch touchscreen, 9 pine tree sparkling, 8 decades going, 7 spots of shine, we're skipping a few, 3 rows of seating, 2 finger waves, and only one.
Jeep. There's only one. Right now during the Jeep Wrap-Up the Year sales event, well-qualified lessees can lease a 2026 Jeep Wrangler Sport S-Gas model for $359 a month, or purchase and get no monthly payments for 90 days.
This is Georgetown, a place of passion and hard work. To be a Hoya, it takes your all. Mind, heart, a pursuit for excellence. We seek out the best in one another and ourselves.
Determined to learn.
Determined to succeed. Determined to have an impact on and off the field. A college to reach higher than you ever thought possible.
Working as hard in the classroom as we do in the weight room.
A community rooted in Jesuit tradition.
DC is our training ground.
The world is our arena.
Together, we are strong.
We are Georgetown.
Here we go from Mohegan Sun Arena.
How about this atmosphere? It's electric in here.
Sellout crowds 3 consecutive days. AZ5 is feeling it.
This is going to be a good one, John.
Oh, boy! The 10,000 here tell the story of how much they appreciate greatness. What a legacy.
Georgetown basketball is brought to you by Squadra Solutions. Squadra, advanced cybersecurity and IT solutions expertise for companies worldwide. Partner with Squadra.
There you see Darnell Haney, head coach of the Georgetown women's basketball team. Of course, longtime coach down in Florida, high school coach, Jacksonville as well. Became the interim coach here at Georgetown after the passing of Tasha Butts, and of course led the Hoyas to the Big East tournament final that year. And you saw next to him Kelly Mazzanti, the associate head coach. We'll chat with her as part of the Jeep halftime report. As Scott down low and a 3-second call on the Georgetown post.
Looked like there was some contact on the reach there. As you see Darnell Haney, and for the first time in school history in that interim season, the Hoyas go to the Big East championship game with a 6 seed, making the championship. An incredible run after the tragic passing of Tasha Butts, who we miss every day here at Georgetown. And you know, right now, this is a Darnell Haney type of game, though, folks. It's only 17-13. The defense is on full display, but they're going to have to score some points on the offensive end. No Victoria Rivera, so that means a huge hit to their outside shooting. And my goodness, Borlova again, I thought she was going to make her fourth there, wide open. But Savannah White, an elite hustle player.
A stoppage here, I think, probably trying to figure out the clock. But right now, too many times Georgetown giving up the hustle plays right now to Xavier, and that's an interesting spot, Martin, when you think about it. Billy Chambers worried about her ladies expending too much energy because she's not as deep. She was worried about Georgetown's depth, but it's the hustle plays being won by the Musketeers right now.
And Savannah White, 3 offensive rebounds, 2 blocks. Obviously, we've said it multiple times, an elite rebounder, an elite defender, and you can make your mark in a defensive struggle like this by offensive rebounding, second chance opportunities. She almost got Aburalova her 4-3 by just hustling after the offensive rebound there. ISO right for Noel. Good switch by Jewett.
Long 2, that's off the back rim, no good. Young not giving up, immediately pressuring. Agibata will take the 3. That's well off the mark. And back to Agibata, off glass and good. That time a scramble goes the Hoyas' way.
You need luck sometimes when you're having trouble to score. Agibata took a quick 3, but the hustle by Summer Davis to impact the basketball and lands right to Agibata, who puts in another layup.
Xavier's lead down to 2.
Good skip.
Young on the drive as a block will be called on Agibata, trying to step in.
Agibata just needed to stay down and have 2 hands up there, make it a tough finish. And we've seen multiple times Xavier skip the basketball to the weak side. Young driving baseline to her strong hand. You can tell that's by design. Get the defense to shift over, skip the basketball so you create a closeout where you drive. And now Young, the Auburn transfer, stepping to the free throw line. She's played very confidently and aggressively here this afternoon. Only averaging 4 points per game, but with the portal comes experience. She's been in big-time runs at the highest level of college basketball. And if you're going to get a road win in the tough Big East, you're going to need experience. You're going to need confidence. You're going to need to have somebody who's been in those battles for the majority of their careers.
She got a 19-point game on her resume at Auburn, and not against Little Sisters of the Poor. It was against LSU.
Of course.
So she can score against good competition. Her mother, a former All-American, down at Auburn.
Both teams wisely got great experienced talent out of the portal. Now what you're seeing this afternoon, though, is not an offensive fireworks game at all, but tough, rugged defense. Both programs taking the scouts seriously, really locked in. That's league basketball. Locking in on the scouting report, take away strengths, accentuate the other team's weaknesses. Both teams showing that here today.
Hoyas down by 4. And into the lane goes Jewett. No good. And kick back out. Davis will take a 3. That's off the mark. And well with the board.
Hoyas 1 of 6 from downtown here at home this afternoon. We talked about Rivera's absence, how important her shooting is for the team. So they have to double down defensively here. And you got to see someone like Kristen Carter hopefully step up. The experienced Butler transfer has been good this year. The lefty in the post. Look at her running the floor here with Nowecki bringing it up.
Nowecki takes it all the way. No good. Put back attempt, no good by Carter. And Lutia Martinez Lopez brings it in. Hoyas having issues with those close-in shots once again.
Yeah, they've been in the paint with drives, offensive rebounding. So far this afternoon, Jewett needs to turn her head to the ball there. She could have had a steal. It went right by her Achilles there. But they're getting in the paint, have the Hoyas. They got to reward themselves, especially when the outside shot's not falling.
Georgetown again pushes 3-on-2. Jewett, little late, had to reach back for the pass. Kicks it over to Davis. She'll set her feet, and this time it goes down. Summer Davis from distance.
And she can make shots. It's so interesting watching her play on film as you study this Georgetown team. She's actually better shooting the basketball off the dribble than in catch-and-shoot situations. Usually it's the reverse, and that's a well-needed 3 for G-Town.
But Young almost answers. Looked like it was headed down, did not fall, and Canerva almost had the steal. Hoyas trying these outlet passes, and Darnell Haney looks at his guard and says, no. I tell you what, Canerva is almost like it's a football Sunday. It's Ed Reed, it's Troy Polamalu back there just lurking for those long passes.
Such a high IQ defender. She has 2 steals and a couple of deflections. In addition to that, on those sideline passing plays by Georgetown. You can tell that's probably a focal point in this scout for Xavier. This Georgetown team loves pushing it ahead, up the sideline or across court, in the transition opportunities there. And so she's done a nice job just kind of stifling Georgetown in the full court by being in the right place at the right time.
Down to 5 on the timer. Down the lane, and offensive foul on Layla Jewett.
And Canerva creating another turnover with great weak side help. They are loading up at the midline with the balls on the opposite side of the court. As you can see, number 8, Canerva in the right place, 2 hands, 2 feet down, hands straight up in the air, takes it in the chest. They've really loaded to the basketball well against this athletic, driving Georgetown team here this afternoon.
Davis almost with a steal. Here's Noel, turnaround in the lane. That's off the mark. Carter with a board.
And Noel still hasn't scored. The league's 5th leading scorer. And another charge, though, taken by Xavier. My, oh, my. They are doing such a great job getting set, taking charges. This rugged defensive style on full display. Look at this. Summer Davis on the pass. You do not see that called every day, do you, Jeremy?
Obviously, you're the one with the coaching background. Those are the ones I've never been a fan of, where it's not the offensive player being out of control, kind of the jumping in a passing lane, that type of thing. But that's just me.
Well, it didn't seem like Summer Davis was that out of control to cause the contact there. But you know what? Xavier's done a great job taking charges, trying to sit on strong hands on drives all afternoon. And so they've set the tone with their defense.
Under 10 on the shot clock. Noel on the
Great
drive. Switch. Spins her way open and scores. Looked like she was cut off, but found a way.
And her first basket this afternoon was the most sensational one of the day so far.
And that's a miss. Darnell Haney was calling for the last shot. His team did not hear him. And now Xavier has a chance for a multi-possession lead going into the break.
Just focus on getting a stop if you're Georgetown here. Oh, great slip out by Canerva. That's a good look to end the half.
And loose ball. Neves puts it up. That's off the mark, and Carter clears the backboards to
Canerva to operate. Mackenzie Givens, the sophomore sensation who's made a big jump this year.
Both teams starting lineups out there except Summer Davis replacing Cotty Hessian. We have not seen Hessian in the game since the early stint to start the contest. Would have to think she probably won't be back out there, but Miller is there, but the Hoyas back within 1.
That was great help by Xavier, but Miller missed her first shot, gets the offensive rebound putback. You got to turn and box out as soon as you contest from that weak side.
Borlova had such a good start against a bigger Hoya lineup. That lineup is out there now.
And you see Summer Davis on her, giving her no space to shoot.
Canerva down to 5 on the timer. Takes it down the lane, scoops it up, can't get it to go. And a fresh 20. Noel, she'll take it in over Carter, no good, and Davis grabs the board.
Great rotation there by Kristen Carter as you see her running the court, trying to post early, staying disciplined, not slapping at the shot, making players score over you. Such an important part of being a great front court defender.
Miller steps through, puts it up, can't get it to fall, but she'll draw the foul and have a chance to put Georgetown up at the line.
She's made 2 very aggressive moves to start this half. She almost had the and one in the first half, couldn't knock down the free throws. You see, great pivot, playing on balance at the end of her drive, being able to drive, and like Q-Tip says, breathe and stop at the end, get your defender off balance. Kaya Miller, who from the area, originally from Woodbridge, Virginia, went to Sidwell Friends here in D.C. What a basketball power they've historically had there. Goes to ECU and got better and better in her time at ECU, and now gets an opportunity as a transfer at Georgetown to play in her hometown, going to one of the best universities in the entire globe, and perform at the highest level of college basketball in the Big East. She's missed 2 free throws here this afternoon, and you know that's going to bother her a little bit.
21 all. Yeah, as the Hoyas on a quick 3-0 run. Had a scoreless drought of about 2.5 minutes to end the second quarter. Here's a Borlova. Can't find the range that time, and Jewett will pull down the board. Hoy is looking for the lead. Davis tries to put it over top of White, who stuffs it.
She's so special protecting the paint. Right place, right time, plays with verticality and toughness. Just a dream to coach if you love defense.
Miller knocked it away for a second. Noel going to work as she'll hit the side of the rim. Davis ends up with it after the pinball. Looking down low for Carter, and that's out of bounds, and will be Xavier basketball as Borlova, after it was done, kind of put her hands behind the back, say, I wasn't holding.
And Kristen Carter does a phenomenal job running the court. That's what you want from the center position, especially when you're having trouble to score. Can we get transition? Can our centers get out, put their head under the rim for post touches? Jewett's pass, right idea, just a tough execution in terms of the air on the ball. Look at that.
And that'll be a miss as Young tries to save it, crashes into some photographers on the baseline.
And Borlova is getting threes up. Brianna Scott needs to go over the top of that flare, especially with the shooter. If you slide under a shooter, especially from the front court spot, but if you slide under a flare, look at that. Again, we talk about Audia Young forcing the turnover.
And Noel has it blocked as Jewett knocks out of bounds. And if I'm Darnell Haney, I'm furious at this point. That's about the second or third time that an easy inbounds pass has not been easy, as just Jewett giving it back to Davis, who wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, and Jewett is expected to bring the ball up the court to execute the offense there. Summer Davis was not expecting the ball back. Now you have to get a stop. A little ISO left by Canerva, and it goes off her leg, but take care of the basketball. In defensive struggles, it's hard enough already to score. You have to give yourself a chance for not just made field goals, but even offensive rebound putbacks when you're struggling to score.
Darnell Haney blamed the lack of focus, as Scott will hit a long two, and we'll see if that can get her going. But in that blowout loss against Seton Hall, just said, look, that's a lot of lack of focus on our part. A lot of the mistakes came from that. Some of that coming up here, as forcing the action is Noel, and she'll get herself to the line.
And that's what she does. She's constantly putting pressure on your defense. Yes, she can make a shot, and she's only 1 of 10 from the field this afternoon, folks, but she's staying aggressive. That's what top scorers do across the country, drawing the foul. Carter not in position there, and that was a same side help anyway. The help needs to come from the weak side usually, but when you have Mariah Noel with the size, the skill, the athleticism, the confidence, just because she's 1 of 10 doesn't mean she's going to stop attacking. And what you want to have is someone who can get going by drawing contact, getting to the free throw line, seeing the ball go in for the final stretch run of this game, and increasing your confidence level for the big meat of the second half here, where every little thing matters.
Knocked away, and Jobue into the game will snag it before it goes out of bounds. So Darnell Haney going deep into the rotation, and a Jobue called for the walk.
Tough break for Georgetown there again. You got to get it back on defense, and you have to know where Mariah Noel is now, because she saw the ball go in the basket. She obviously has 1 field goal, but this is a new half, right? It's a league game. The scouting report is everyone's locked in. She's going to be aggressive, and you see she's going to be in the middle of that zone that Georgetown has here. Great pass, wow.
And Canerva can't hit the 3. Carter comes down with a board.
That's just brilliant zone offense execution. It didn't go down, but the right play by Mariah Noel.
Scott back to the top, and Jewett. And Hoy is playing with 2 bigs. Carter and Scott both 6'4". Can they find a mismatch?
Good look.
Miller hoists a 3. Back rim no good. Fought for. White comes down with it.
Both teams execute great offense, get good looks, but in a defensive league matchup, it's really hard to knock it down.
And Noel will draw the foul on Jobue.
We're seeing the talent of Mariah Noel shine here this afternoon. Even when she's not shooting it great here in the second half, she's putting her head down, attacking the paint, saying to herself, I can still manufacture points, even if the jumper hasn't fallen yet, even if I miss some bunnies in the paint early on. Can I get to the free throw line, get some points on the board? And when you're a scorer who makes free throws, she shoots 76% from the line. When you make your free throws, that is such a luxury to have if you're Billy Chambers, because you know you could put the ball in your star player's hands and she can make something out of nothing, possession after possession.
And 1 of 2 as Scott grabs the board. India Davis, Summer Davis's twin sister, into the contest. She wears 22, Summer wears 23. Also, Byers back into the game for the first time this half as Scott off glass, can't get it to fall, but tapped out of bounds by Noel.
And you like to see India Davis there sprinting to the weak side, trying to create an offensive rebound opportunity. In close games, those little things matter so much, and she's done a good job in spurts this year, showing off those strong intangibles and the hustle plays that you need to win.
Here's Miller.
Good roll and replace.
Scott for 3, won't fall, and she can hit that shot. Kind of more of a pick and pop center in her previous years as Davis snatches it.
Coming right off the bench, India Davis, great transition defense.
And a block will be called on Noel.
And as a former coach, you know, you look at the execution from the Hoyas in this half, they're getting good looks. Open threes, the roll and replace with Brianna Scott. As you see, India Davis, known for her defense and toughness, creating a play now, BLOB, baseline out of bounds opportunity for Georgetown to hopefully get something easy. 24-23 here in the third quarter at McDonough. Wow.
A Sunday afternoon rock fight in our nation's capital.
No other place I'd rather be on a Sunday, too. I love this. The Big East, one of the best leagues in America.
Under 10 on the timer. Jewett for 3, count it. Took advantage of the contact. Xavier defender went down, left wide open, and she puts the Hoyas up.
And she's made 2 threes for Georgetown today. 2 of the 3 threes that they've made all afternoon, and you want her to get back going if you're a Georgetown fan, because she was exceptional early in the year, has slowed down a little bit here these last couple games. She's so important to this ball club.
White on the drive, and Davis will be called for the foul. Savannah White will be shooting 2. We get back to our nation's capital. Hoyas have claimed the lead. It has not been easy for either side. Jewett finding maybe the one easy play we've had today as she knocked it down from distance.
Welcome to the greatest show on earth. Perina is running riot here. Oh, yes, sir. It is all quite astonishing.
It's already rolling now for this new season.
The NBA on ESPN is happening now, and we don't know who's going to catch fire or who will shock the world. We don't know which bucket will break hearts. What'll go down in the rumor mill or inside the NBA. We don't know who's turning up courtside or when we'll hear it. But we do know that for opening week, Christmas, finals, and everywhere in between, there's one place to call home.
Stop playing with me.
It's not over. Not yet. That epic run, that wild dream, not over till the clock hits 0. Till the stadium shakes. Till the wild things are let loose. Till the trophy is lifted and the confetti falls. This is the national championship. When it's over, you'll feel it. This is the wild world of college football. The CFP National Championship, Monday, January 19th at 7:30 p.m. on ESPN.
The NBA on ESPN is happening now. We don't know who's going to catch fire or who will shock the world, but we do know that for opening week, Christmas, finals, and everywhere in between, there's one place to call home.
Stop playing with me.
This is star power from the jump.
Now basketball is my favorite sport. I'm ready to dribble up and down the court.
Are you not entertained?
College basketball all season long on ESPN and streaming on the ESPN app.
Welcome to the greatest show on earth.
Georgetown up by 2 in D.C. Taking a look at the Big East standings, of course, right now. UConn and Villanova on top of things. Georgetown and Xavier at the bottom, of course. UConn we expected. Villanova, maybe not this position for the Wildcats.
Villanova, Coach Denise Dillon and staff doing a great job there. They've won 10 in a row, playing great basketball. Jasmine Basco, 17 points per game, someone who can really light it up. And, you know, there's 3 teams in the top 50 of the net in the Big East right now. Marquette's next at 64, Georgetown at 74. But, folks, St. John's is 3-2 in the league. They have wins over a very good Oklahoma State team, Memphis, Georgia Tech as well. So Coach Tartamella and staff up there doing a nice job. This is a very good league this year. It's going to be very competitive start to finish. Look at this press by Xavier.
Hoyas break it. Miller down to Scott. Turn around in the lane. That's off the mark.
That's what you want if you're Georgetown, against the press. You want to be aggressive, try to beat it down court, score early. It was crowded in there for Brianna Scott, but they attacked the press. You don't want to be on your heels against pressure defense in the full court.
Canerva finally gets open and scores. Nasmich with a great find, and the finish flash puts it ahead to put Xavier on top.
And Nasmich has been very good this year, quiet today, this afternoon, but you see the ability to pass from different spots on the court, a staple of a Billy Chambers offense. Great cut.
First bucket of the game for Canerva, and a lot of contact down low. Scott goes down hard. And that is going to be on Xavier.
And the question is going to be, are they going to the baseline for a baseline out of bounds opportunity, or are we shooting free throws here? Thought I saw one of the officials signal it for a shot. I think there's a little confusion here as Billy Chambers talks to one of the officials. 2 hands up. No call. So where was the foul then? That is the question, my friend.
Call it on Nasmich. Excuse me.
If it was on the shot, then it should be 2 free throws. What we're trying to figure out is, was there contact after Nasmich went down? Didn't appear as such, but
if they're saying no contact on Miller, then it was her falling into Scott. I think I say it's okay. So now Byers was at the foul line. I guess she was setting up for the inbounds play. So Miller is going to get the shots. Billy Chambers trying to get an explanation.
They called a blocking foul on Nyasmich on the shot. 2 free throws has been the call. And Kaya Miller's been very aggressive, but the free throws, slow down your routine, take a deep breath. You know, a lot of times from that free throw line, you want to stick with a routine every single time, but you want to use as much of the 10 seconds you're allocated from the free throw line. Take a deep breath, young lady. Hold the follow through. Nice adjustment there, good rhythm. In close games, free throws count, folks. They matter. They matter all the time if you're a real hooper, but especially in close defensive games, every single point matters.
Miller just 2 of 5 from the charity stripe today, but she ties the game up at 27 as we head toward 3 minutes in our third quarter.
Good switch by Nowacki there.
Canerva keeping the pivot foot and puts Xavier on top.
Just genius pivoting by Canerva, finding the perfect angle off the square, off the backboard to make the layup, playing under control at the end of her drive.
Agubata, Borlova almost tied her up. And a whistle and a 3-second call on the Hoyas. That's the second of the game on Darnell Haney's team.
Agubata got stuck in the paint there, looking for an outlet. And the Hoyas commit the 3-second call. And this defensive game, the Hoyas now have 14 turnovers this afternoon at home. Xavier has 7 of their own, but they've made some threes. They've got a 2-point lead. And this has been a defensive Big East battle. And Kaya Miller picking up the loose ball, getting a steal of her own.
And foul be called as Canerva, just that little subtle bump, maybe didn't even need it as she had a tough angle for Miller already.
As you see, you've said her name a lot here in the second half, especially drawing the contact, going to the free throw line, trying to manufacture points in the full court. Defensive ball games, the half court, points are hard to come by. Can you get some stuff in the full court? And if you get to the line, knock down your free throws. Georgetown's only taken 5 free throws here this afternoon, all by Kaya Miller, but only 2 of 5 from the line so far.
And she hits the first. Great shot by our cameraman as he was walking off the court. I know she's way too young for this, but you're not. The old Bo Jackson running up the tunnel after the long touchdown
Exactly.
run. I thought Miller might be going into the lobby here at McDonough Arena, and she goes 1 for 2 at the line, so Xavier maintains the 1-point lead. Here's Canerva, had such a good third quarter against Marquette on New Year's Day. She'll take the 3, and she rattles it home. Xavier up by 4.
The sophomore sensation has taken over this third quarter, finishing in the paint, step back 3 there. Just a beautiful execution. When your point guard can make shots and create for others, you have a special player in Mary Canerva.
Here's Miller trying to answer, and she does.
Anything you can do, I can do better. Miller and Canerva going head-to-head in this third quarter. 2 very talented guards in the Big East.
Miller's got 13, your leading scorer today. White will keep it moving over to Young. Under 90 seconds to go here in the third quarter.
Got to switch this. Good switch by Miller.
Canerva steps through, can't get it to fall, but White's there, puts it up and in.
Savannah White, the 5th leading rebounder in the Big East, known for her hustle plays and toughness. Rebounds, steals, blocks. That is what she does. A big-time defender and rebounder, making the winning plays time and time again for Coach Billy Chambers.
Tough shot by Miller, doesn't fall. An offensive foul on Nowicki, trying to get White out of the way.
They're battling on the interior. What Savannah White makes you do is elevate your physicality, and right there, Nowicki gets charged with the foul, throwing her down. We'll see. She goes opposite like you're supposed to on the drive. Ooh, didn't look like a really physical or full extension by Nowicki with that left arm. But Xavier's got the ball now with a 4-point lead, which feels like a major one in a game like this one today.
18-second difference, shot to game clock. Canerva takes it in and scores. And just like she did against Marquette earlier this week, Mary Canerva coming up big in the third quarter.
She's dancing and boogieing with the basketball in her hands. Creative, good hesitation. She's got the bigger player on her, so she knows she can get the edge. She gets to the backboard, finishes, draws the foul. What a third quarter for Mary Canerva. 2nd in the country in minutes per game. Makes shots, runs the offense, 4 assists per game, 6th in the Big East. But she's taken over this game by scoring the basketball.
All 10 of her points in the third quarter. There's Nowicki in the lane, puts one up. That's off the mark. Carter's there. She has it blocked from behind, and a foul will be called on White, who thinks she got a clean one.
Savannah White thought she had her 4th block of this afternoon from behind, but it looks like they got her getting Kristen Carter on the arms, and Carter looks to get her first points of this afternoon. As you see, known for a great offensive rebounding prowess. That looked like a 50-50 one right there, but now Carter needs to step to the line, put these in. It's good to see her make her free throws. 57% from the line this year. And somebody who transferred in league from Butler. That is the nature of college basketball. Now, players never used to transfer in conference because they would penalize you with sometimes a 1 or 2 year, delay in eligibility, the league rules. But now teams, oh my goodness.
Givens through, and it'll be an 8-point lead as right now Xavier bring it in. But Mary Canerva, after 7 points and 4 assists in the third quarter to help the Musketeers get back into their game against Marquette on New Year's Day, as Aboralova takes the open three, left wide open again, and right now Xavier leading by double digits.
It's so hard to guard any sort of action involving those two, Canerva and Oboralova, especially because they can make shots. They're highly skilled, great for themselves and others. The Hoyas got to get going offensively here to get back in this ball game.
Agabata with a bucket there. And again, so many new pieces. Asked Darnell Haney beforehand as Agabata with a steal. She'll take it in over top of Aboralova and hits.
The Hoyas are picking up in full court. They have this three-quarter court trapping defense. Canerva surprisingly having a turnover on that last possession. And Agabata, this is how she plays well. With aggression, pressure defense, 94 feet. They need her energy here to get this game going in their favor.
Back-to-back buckets, cut it down to 7.
Kristen Carter's got to stay attached to Oberalova here. Do not help at all.
Here's the mismatch. White takes it in, no good. That's a shot clock violation off the backboard and not the rim.
And that's great defense won by Kaya Miller. As you see Agubata getting the steal in the three-quarter court trap, protecting the middle like you're supposed to, elevating and finishing. And you saw Kaya Miller, 2 hands straight up in the air on defense. Agubata was in help side defense, 2 hands in the air. They forced the shot clock violation off the tough shot.
So Xavier with some pressure. Hoyas break it, but get into their half-court offense. And Young almost takes it away. Agabata to the corner. Dagiba puts a 3 up and she hits it. Wow! The Brazilian national team member showing some fight.
She's now made a 3-pointer in 4 of 5 games, coming off the bench at the top of this press from the forward position, creating some chaos and then knocking down the 3. And Agubata with a brilliant pass to get her an open look.
He gets a high five from Kaya Miller, as that's a huge shot. And Dagiba doing on the defensive end, but also offensively, gets the open look. Agabata with the find. Dagiba with the knockdown. Hoyas back in it, down only by 4 here at McDonough.
Adulting? Overrated. Financial freedom? Now that's the move. Meet Alumnify. Banking built for real life. No jargon. No hassle. Just smart money moves made simple. Want to save more? Spend smarter? Build wealth? We've got your back. With 0 hidden fees and game-changing savings rates. This is banking that fits your life. Alumnify. Let's go.
On the 12th day of winter, the Jeep friend gave to me 12 switchbacks winding, 11 rubber duckies, 10-inch touchscreen, 9 pine trees sparkling, 8 decades going, 7 spots of shiny, skipping a few, 3 rows of seating, 2 finger waves, and only one.
Jeep. There's only one. Right now during the Jeep Wrap-Up the Year sales event, well-qualified lessees can lease a 2026 Jeep Wrangler Sport Pass Gas model for $359 a month, or purchase and get no monthly payments for 90 days.
This is Georgetown, a place of passion and hard work. To be a Hoya, it takes your all. Mind, heart, a pursuit for excellence. We seek out the best in one another and ourselves.
Determined to learn.
Determined to succeed. Determined to have an impact on and off the field. A college to reach higher than you ever thought possible.
Working as hard in the classroom as we do in the weight room.
A community rooted in Jesuit tradition.
DC is our training ground.
The world is our arena.
Together, we are stronger.
We are Georgetown.
Here we go from Mohegan Sun Arena.
How about this atmosphere? It's electric in here.
Sellout crowds 3 consecutive days. AZ5 is feeling it.
This is going to be a good one, John.
Oh, boy! 10,000 here tell the story of how much they appreciate greatness. What a legacy.
Georgetown basketball is brought to you by Squadra Solutions. Squadra, advanced cybersecurity and IT solutions expertise for companies worldwide. Partner with Squadra. Big East basketball is brought to you by Alumnify. Alumnify. Let's go.
Here you see Billy Chambers trying to blunt a Hoya run 7-0 over the last 126. As Georgetown trailing by 11 at one point and gotten back into it.
The game's about adjustments. Coach Darnell Haney went three-quarter court press, got a couple turnovers, created some baskets and some new momentum, which they desperately needed in the fourth. Look weak side for Canerva here.
And put up, almost goes in by Aboralova. Had to heave it at the end of the shot clock. Able to draw a rim, falling out of bounds.
And it was an odd shot off balance, but everyone in the arena thought that ball was going in.
And trying to feed, but Aboralova just too tall to get it around.
Just love how Savannah White plays defense, locks in on that end. Should be a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year in the Big East because of it.
Aboralova and Canerva playing a two-woman game. Down under 10 on the timer.
End of shot clock. You got to be aware of where Aboralova is off this ball screen.
Canerva takes it in, lays it up and good. Over the bigger Carter.
Just a genius attack of the lane line. Inside hand finish. Mary Canerva has been unbelievable in the second half. Her creativity, confidence, swagger on full display.
Was played in the Finnish league against older, better competition, made her a better player as that's a loose ball. Canerva comes up with it, 3-on-2. Kick back, here comes White, a lot of contact, no foul. And Canerva, cooler than the other side of the pillow, just brings it back out, runs some clock. She takes Carter the lane again. This time can't hit it.
That was a good move. She attacked the bigger player.
Dagiba will line up another three. That one off the mark. Agibada's there, and she draws the foul on Canerva.
4 offensive rebounds for Agubada. That's what she does best, folks. Attacks the paint. And how about the confidence from Dagiba shooting it, a pull-up three in transition. And look at Agubada drawing the contact and going to the free throw line now. When you're down in the fourth quarter, can you get free points from the free throw line in a defensive game? You're making the hustle plays there. The Hoyas 15 turnovers this afternoon. Really been their Achilles heel, taking care of the ball, surprisingly. And Agubada, the warrior mentality, she's got it. She's got that outside dog mentality that Darnell Haney always preaches to his ball club. Making 1 of 2 and then pulling down. Mackenzie Givens off the free throw miss there, and so Georgetown going to look back on this free throw shooting. Only 5 of 11 here this afternoon at McDonough. It's always important to TCOB take care of the ball, but TCOB take care of business from the free throw line as well.
5-point lead for the Musketeers. As Aboralova just tall enough to snag that one away, keep it from being another steal. Here's Noel. She's been relatively quiet as she puts one up. No good. Offensive rebound goes back to Givens, and finally Scott ends the possession with a board.
Givens doesn't miss many of those. It landed right in her lap. Little Bunny just came out short, and Brianna Scott back in the game gets the rebound, which the Hoyas really needed there.
Jewett loses her footing, and timeout called. Darnell Haney took it. Did have the possession arrow, but takes the timeout to save that and the ball. He'll take a 30 with 14 seconds left on the shot clock. We'll be back to DC in a moment.
The NBA on ESPN is happening now, And we don't know who's gonna catch fire or who shocked the world. We don't know which bucket will break hearts. What go down in the rumor mill or inside the NBA. We don't know who's turning up courtside or when we'll hear a. But we do know that for opening week, Christmas, finals, and everywhere in between, there's one place to call home.
Stop playing with me.
The countdown has begun. Because it's last chance to bundle Disney Plus and the ESPN app for one incredible price.
It's a huge opportunity.
Don't miss out. The ESPN app is where you can watch some of football's biggest postseason games, including great bowl matchups, the college football playoff, and NFL wild card and divisional playoff games.
Touchdown!
Act fast, because the clock is ticking on this game-changing offer. Get it all for $29.99 a month for 12 months.
This is star power from the jump.
College basketball all season long on ESPN and streaming on the ESPN app.
The NBA on ESPN is happening now. We don't know who's going to catch fire or who will shock the world. But we do know that for opening week, Christmas, finals, and everywhere in between, there's one place to call home.
Stop playing with me.
It's not over.
What a night on ESPN.
Not yet. This is National Championship. When it's over, you'll feel it. The CFP National Championship, Monday, January 19th at 7:30 p.m. on ESPN.
Welcome to the greatest show on earth. Oh, yes, sir.
The ball is already rolling now for this new season.
Welcome to the greatest show on earth. Mbappe is running riot here. Oh, yes, sir. It is all quite astonishing.
Let's take a look at your Georgetown upcoming schedule, brought to you by Alumnify. Alumnify, let's go. Hoyas next up on the road at Butler. Then they'll take on DePaul for a matchup with St. John's. Marquette, of course, the big one against UConn down at the Mystics Arena, Care First Arena, I think it is. That'll be in late January. So Darnell Haney hoping to go into that stretch off of a win here.
And right now, DePaul is up big on Providence in the second quarter, and Creighton is up 4 on Butler late in that ball game. And nice design play again, the ISO right action for Kaya Miller. And you just love to see those plays executed exactly how they needed to be, out of the timeout, ATO, after timeout actions. Miller is trying to put this team on her back with Agubada, as you see. Getting baseline side. She does such a great job, Jeremy, playing under control, but also drawing contact and then making the free throws there.
Ransom-esque.
Kelsey Ransom-esque, one of the best Hoyas of all time, who we had the pleasure of seeing, and Kaya Miller has a lot of that to her game as well.
Now, had a violation there. I think a foul on Scott. Did that wipe out? Looks like they're going to count the bucket and the free throw. So a 2-point game as of now. We'll let you know if that changes.
The Hoyas have fought back, but now the young woman with the ball, Mary Canerva, is going to be a focal point on how this game ends. Her creativity and savvy has been unbelievable this afternoon.
There's White, and that time uses the strength and size to her advantage.
You can see why this Xavier team under Billy Chambers is so much improved. They've got a different type of team with physicality, toughness, skill, shooting, and a great point guard who can keep you in the mix, even when your leading scorer, Mariah Noel, has been struggling this afternoon.
Down to 10 on the shot clock.
Nice
down
look.
low, here's Byers, and an offensive foul. And I think Noel might have embellished that one just a little bit. That's what Brianna Scott's trying to tell the other official. There was a little contact there, but I think Noel put a little extra English on it.
The Georgetown bench can't believe it. The Hoya faithful in attendance can't believe it either. But Xavier has taken charges all afternoon. And if it's close, you just never know which way it can go. And of course, Georgetown now, you need a stop. 46-42, Big East ball game here, a defensive-centric game. But the offense has certainly picked up here in the second half because of those two right there, Canerva and Kaya Miller.
Givens off the mark, and Byers comes down with the board.
Byers can push it, you see, throwing the ball down court and dribbling it into that. What a move.
In, and it's a deuce. So a 2-point game. Georgetown bench was looking for the and one.
Got to match up Georgetown now in the half court. This is a close ball game. Both teams fighting to get to 500 in league. Every single win counts. These games matter big time.
Down to 10. Canerva into
Good
Noel.
pass. Wow.
Has some space as she uses the screen by White.
Savannah White, a winning play. She just seals the interior center spot of the zone, creating an opportunity for Noel to get to her strong hand. Brilliant execution against the zone by Billy Chambers Ball Club.
Here's Miller. Kicks it out. Agibata for three. Count it. It's a 1-point game.
Destiny Agubata, 29% from three during the season. She shot that like she was in the mid-30s and up. Perfect release. Billy Chambers is going to call timeout. And this has been a back and forth fourth quarter. The Hoyas, Kaya Miller making a play. She's gotten to the rim. That time she kicks opposite. Brilliant pass to Agubata. What a fourth quarter here at McDonough.
30-second timeout here. Martin, last year these two teams played. It was the day before New Year's Eve. Georgetown won that one 64-41, but they did it by outscoring Xavier 23-4 in the fourth quarter. That has not been the case today. This one feels like it's going right down to the buzzer.
It's going right to the buzzer. The Hoyas have made their last three, and as you see Xavier up next, they go on the road to Villanova. What a job Denise Dillon has done there. Then they have DePaul, who's 0-5 as of right now, coming to their place in Cincinnati, and Coach Tarter Mello's Ball Club from St. John's coming after that. But every league game matters. And in the Big East, they're so hard to come by when you're on the road in Billy Chambers and you've already matched your win total from the past 2 years. You can get to win number 9 here today.
That Xavier schedule brought to you by Alumnify. Let's go. So 1-point lead for Xavier, 15 on the timer. Trying to feed the post, take advantage of that mismatch. Givens down to 5. Aboralova for 3. That misses everything. And it'll be Georgetown ball. Buzzer did not go off as Miller had possession.
Brianna Scott was just a step closer and was able to contest it a little faster there, forcing the air ball.
And Miller has it knocked out of her hands and asking for help. Whitney Armstrong said it's out off the Musketeers.
Billy Chambers is trying to call for a challenge here, an appeal from the sidelines, and they're going to grant her that, it looks like, as you can see. I couldn't tell from that angle.
Yeah, I think that's a wise call, as it looked like it went off Miller.
And now with the appeal, as you can see, the challengeable plays, women's college basketball out of bounds call, which is exactly what we're seeing. Backcourt violation, change of possessions, foul assessed to the correct player. If this is a failed challenge, Xavier will lose a timeout, but the call on the court was off of Xavier. So there has to be irrefutable evidence that the ball did not go off of Xavier here. They're going to look at every angle.
Unless it hits her hair going through, I don't think White touches that ball.
It doesn't appear of it. In that moment from that angle, it looked like it did go off Kaya Miller, so we're going to see. They get all the angles over there at midcourt, at the replay station, so they're going to examine this appropriately.
So it will be Xavier basketball on the turnover on Miller. just lost control of it. And you kind of were looking even the hand get in, but it didn't even really look like there was that much contact, just lost control of it.
A wise challenge decision by Coach Billy Chambers there. You don't lose the timeout now. You keep that in your pocket here for down the stretch of this ball game. A close Big East battle. The defense has been so intense in different ways, in the full court, in the half court. This has been a great ball game.
And knocked away, ends up in the hands of Scott.
Did you see Agubata flying in there with her right hand, creating that turnover? She has been a menace in this three-quarter court press here in the second half.
Here's Scott at the top. Xavier turning up the pressure. They find Byers, and it's blocked. Wow, what a play. Two-handed stuff by Noel.
Great verticality by Noel, staying disciplined, not slapping down. They get the stop when they need it.
Up on 90 seconds to go. Canerva has the mismatch in Scott. She'll take her down the lane, kicks over to Givens. That's off the mark, and Agubata with the board.
Just a great rebound by Agubata there in a tough spot.
And White gives up the foul. Now with 1:18 to go, that's only the third team foul on Xavier.
So they're going to have one more foul to give there. Don't give up anything in transition, as White's going to come out, get probably a very quick breather, as you see here. Little reach. Not sure if that was intentional or not, but here we go. Now they get their defense set, and they try to get another stop here.
Never on Miller. Almost thrown away there. Givens in the passing lanes. Agubata for three. Around and out, no good. Scott with the board, puts it up, can't hit it. Byers has a chance. She scores! And one more at the line.
An unbelievable pursuit of the basketball. First, Brianna Scott goes and gets the offensive rebound, puts it back up. And then Brianna Byers on that weak side corrals the rebound. She just missed the last one the play before, but she stays mentally tough and puts the ball up and in.
Now the issue for the Hoyas is Byers only a 21% free throw shooter coming into the game. And she's off the mark. So Xavier will take a timeout, down by one.
So the ball will move across half court here for Xavier. SLOB time, sideline out of bounds opportunity. You don't have to design something here to get a catch and shoot shot, but you might want to get something that initiates your offense relatively quickly. And you've got to think that Mary Canerva is going to have the ball in her hands. 12 points, 6 assists this afternoon so far. Noel's gotten going a little bit here in the second half. She struggled. Their leading scorer averages 15 per game on the season, 5th in the Big East. She only has 7, but against the zone, if Georgetown switches things up and goes back to it here, you might want to look for Noel on the interior. And if you're Georgetown especially, Borialova, 4 threes here this afternoon. You have to know where she is at all times. If she sets a screen, you have to switch it with active hands, no miscommunications. If she's same side on a drive, you got to stay at home, one step at most away from her in the gap as well as possible. You cannot let her tee one up again.
Xavier right now, Martin, going towards a 2.5-minute scoring drought. Georgetown, just like last year, maybe not as much, but it's trending the same way, outscoring the Musketeers 18-9 here in the fourth quarter, but the Musketeers have the ball.
And when you're changing the culture and building a program like Billy Chambers, these are the games that can help determine how far over the hump you can really get. Can you get a road win in the Big East and surpass your league's win totals from the last 2 years?
Noel, maybe getting lost, was contacted, and Scott from behind. That's only the 4th team foul on Georgetown. So no free throws yet. It's the 3rd on Scott.
If there was a catch there, Scott just needs to stay disciplined, bodies on bodies there. You have to look at the weak side there. Canerva was open to tee up a 3 if you're Georgetown. So scouting report, so important. As a coach, end of games, what is our scouting report? Who on the court is reflecting what we're supposed to do in terms of personnel, matchups, how to guard screens. And how about that? Who would have thought that at the end of the game? Hayasmich going to her left hand and finishing.
They put her into the game, and she immediately scores. That's her first bucket of the ball game to put Xavier ahead.
Unbelievable. She's played so well this year, was quiet this afternoon, but makes a big play in a big spot.
Down to Scott against the Borlova. Tries to put it through, has it taken away, and the jump ball keeps it with the Hoyas. Only 5 seconds to go on the shot clock.
Scott gets stuck here, trying to pivot across. Great defense again. We've talked about the verticality of Noelle. 2 hands high in the sky. The Hoyas are going to have 5 seconds on the shot clock. Darnell Haney wisely calling timeout here. He's got to dial something up to get a shot. It does not have to be catch and shoot, though. There's 5 seconds, but it's not going to be a ton of dribbles or passes either. What a Big East ball game. Both teams giving it their all, competing on both ends. Nothing's been easy. And how about this? At the start of the game, we said in the last 5 games between these two, Xavier had not hit 50 points. Jeremy, they've hit 50 points here this afternoon in a defensive struggle.
Musketeers trying to end an 8-game losing streak to the Hoyas. And again, the last 5 in the Chambers and Haney era. It's been a 24-point deficit or advantage, I guess you could say, going toward the Hoyas. Not going to be that game this way, but right now comes down to, can the Hoyas find a way to get a good shot off with just 5 seconds to go. They have not been great offensively today. Georgetown shooting at a 37% clip.
And 2 very well-coached teams. The defense has been terrific this afternoon. The little things are so important in close games. We're talking loose balls, offensive rebounds, attention to the scout, free throws, and we got 5 seconds on the shot clock here. So let's see what the Hoyas dial up down the stretch.
Byers to trigger, gets it into Miller.
ISO right, wow.
She puts it up and gets it to go on Canerva. And Xavier is going to take a timeout. Here's your question, Martin. Obviously, with the Hoya pressure, as we'll look at the replay here.
An unbelievable drive. We've seen it multiple times. ISO right, ISO right. Isolate your best player to her strong hand to get downhill and get to the rim. Kaya Miller, the DMV native, thriving as a Hoya.
Final timeout. Obviously, the Hoya's going to throw a little pressure there. If you're Billy Chambers, did you maybe think about just letting your team play it because you've got a playmaker like a Canerva? You've got some Euro-style players that can kind of do this on their own maybe.
Yeah, you want to put Canerva in a situation, I'm guessing, ball in her hands, involving Noelle, or tonight, or excuse me, this afternoon, involving Oberalova, where Canerva can make a decision based on how Georgetown plays. As you see, Canerva's taking the ball out of bounds at the start of this play. I'm willing to bet something's going to happen where she gets the ball back quickly, possibly that Iverson cut, with all due respect to Allen Iverson, the Georgetown great, across the free throw line to get the ball back, but it's coming to her hands. You see her crossing the free throw line there.
There goes Canerva. Trying to back in, puts one up, and it goes with 6.7 seconds left, and Darnell Haney takes the timeout. You knew Canerva was either going to be in the middle of it scoring or setting up a play. She gets the mismatch and is able to score it to put the Musketeers up by 1.
She did exactly what we pontificated would happen there, right? I'm inbounding the ball because I'm the best passer, highest IQ on the team. Sprints across the court, free throw line. Look at her keep her dribble back to the basket. And then with the weak hand, finishing across the front on Kaya Miller. These two have gone back and forth this afternoon. 2 of the better guards in the Big East. With Canerva now with 14 points, 7 assists on this afternoon, but has been marvelous scoring the basketball. And Kaya Miller, 18 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists herself. And so 6.9 seconds left, not 6.7. We're not going to say 6-7 on this broadcast, Jeremy. 6.9 seconds left in a Big East defensive classic here at McDonough.
No timeouts for either team, not guarding the inbounder. They'll get it out to Byers, back to Miller. On Canerva, offensive foul as Mary Canerva able to draw the foul on Kaya Miller.
She sniffed out the play to the strong hand for Kaya Miller. Sits on that right hand, takes it in the chest. Has to be the 8th or 9th time they've done this afternoon. Just such a high IQ defensive play. Billy Chambers makes some subs. And what great defense there out of the timeout by Xavier. Georgetown needs to try to pressure everywhere here, but you're fouling right away if not.
Jasmich gets it in. The foul given on Noel with 3.5 seconds to go. Noel will head to the line. Mariah, 77% free throw shooter on the year.
Look at this. Canerva beating Miller to the spot. And now for Georgetown, it's 2 free throws. You have no timeouts. How do you advance the ball down court with 3.5 seconds? Darnell Haney's got the board, dialing up something make or miss for his guards.
This is interesting. The officials were holding it. It's legal for both teams to do it, but they were holding up as Xavier didn't put anybody on the line. There was no foul out.
Both teams, and there's a missed free throw, so if there's a second miss, this is going to be a live ball. You got to sprint in there if you're Georgetown. Both teams with their staffs go to the sideline, try to get on the same page. No timeouts left. Someone's got to make a play here late, whether it's Noel from the line or Georgetown with a historic buzzer-beating shot. Wow.
She'll miss, fight for the ball. Jewett's got to get one up. She does, and it is off the mark, and Xavier has come to DC and knocked off Georgetown by a 50.